right, so last time I had said that this was our homework. So we had to write this as the sine or cosine of a single angle. All right, so for A, you should have got sine 2x. That was a very easy one. For D, you should have got the sine of 70. For G, you should have got cos 4 theta. For J, you should have realized that it was the wrong way around. When I say the wrong way around, I mean that the 2 cos squared 22 should be positive and 1 should be negative. So you'd first have to factorize out the negative and then go and write it as a cosine of a single angle. And then the last one we would have had to manipulate by multiplying it by 2 and then by a half, and then writing that as half sine 2 theta. Okay, any questions on that from last time? Anybody got any questions? Sure, are we all good? Okay, all right. In that case, I'm going to jump straight back into our double angles. We're going to be doing slightly more difficult work today. So just a reminder to you from what we spoke about last time, we spoke about the sine double angle and the cosine double angle. And what we discovered is that we could write or expand sine 2a to 2 sine a cos a, and that we could expand cos 2a in 3 different ways. So either we could write it as cos squared a minus sine squared a, or we could write it as 2 cos squared a minus 1, or we could write it as 1 minus 2 sine squared a as well. Okay, and for now with the work that we're doing this lesson as well, it really doesn't matter how we write that cosine double angle for now. Okay, it is going to matter eventually, but it doesn't matter right now with this work that we're doing. All right, let's have a look at the first question. We're going to calculate the value of the following, oh, excuse me, without using a calculator. All right, so we know that we're not allowed to use any calculators. I say that every single lesson. And when they say no calculators, they mean you need to show all your working as well. Okay, let's have a look at the first one. So in A, they give us 2 sine 15 cos 15. Can anybody tell me, what does this look like? Does it look like a sine double angle, or does it look like a cosine double angle? Thank you, Travis. What does it look like? Okay, it looks like a sine double angle, absolutely. All right, so in other words, what we've got here is 2 sine of an angle, cos of an angle. All right, so it's just like this over here that I'm highlighting in pink. It's identical to that. All right, so in other words, what we want to do is the reversal of the expansion. So we're going to go back the other way and we're going to do this. All right, so that means that we would write this as sine, open square brackets, 2 times 15 degrees. And that would give us the sine of 30. So we've done the reversal of the expansion. And we all know that the sine of 30 is equal to 1 over 2. Okay, so just like that. There we go, Lisa, quite right. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so what does B look like to you? Does it look like a sine double angle, or does it look like a cosine double angle? What does question B look like? Absolutely. Okay, so it's a cosine double angle. Yes, but there's a problem with it. And when I say problem, I mean problem in inverted commas. What do I need to do to it before I can do the reversal of the expansion? What do I need to do, Zentle?
You can factorize the negative so that it turns to.
Absolutely. Okay, so tell me what I should write, Zentle.
Sure. Ma'am, so you should write it out, then you factorize the negative, then it would be -1 plus 2 cos squared 22, 5 And then
Perfect.
like this, you can arrange it, meaning you'll be it's 2 cos squared
Mm-hmm.
22,5 minus 1.
There we go. Lovely. Okay, so now it looks identical. All right, keep going.
After that, we can find the double angle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we could multiply it by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be 4.
What's going to be 4?
Oh, won't we multiply, ma'am, the 2 cos squared?
So
Oh,
what we can
no,
what we
no,
can
no, 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 no. Stop. Never mind, ma'am. I'm sorry.
it's
You write
okay.
you write out the 2 cos squared. After that, multiply the 22,5 in brackets by 2.
There we go. You're back on track again. Lovely.
Yes. Let me
Oh,
see what that is. Which will equal to 45. Cos
that's
45.
it. There we go.
And then cos 45 as it's a special angle. So I think it's equal to cos root 2 over 1, which is, yeah,
Root
negative
2
root
over
2.
2.
Root 2
Root
over
2
2,
over 2.
yes.
Yes, root 2 over 2. So the other way that you can write it if you want to, Zintle, is you can write it as 1 over root 2.
Okay,
Okay, but
yes, ma'am.
then in this way over here, the denominator is not rationalized. That's also a perfectly acceptable way of doing it. Okay, and then just don't forget it would end up being negative as well. Okay, very nicely done, Zintle. Thank you so much. That was perfect. All right, anybody feeling brave enough to tell us what you think we would write for question C? Anybody feeling brave enough? What do we think question C means? Anyone got any ideas? No, you guys feeling a little bit shy? Okay, so when we square anything, it's an instruction to us to multiply something by itself. Okay, so for example, if we have x plus y in brackets and we square it, it's an instruction to multiply x plus y with itself. Okay, so we've got to think about our algebra when we are doing trig, okay? Because when we're working with cos theta and sine theta, we can also look at them like they are variables. So in this situation over here, we would just do FOIL, wouldn't we? So we'd say x times x would give us x squared, x times y would give us xy, and then we'd have another xy in the middle, and then we would have y squared at the end like that. And then we would add together our like terms in the middle. So we'd end up with x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. We're going to do exactly the same thing, only now we're going to be working with sine theta and cos theta. So there's no need for you to be afraid of this. It's just like algebra. Okay. No, it's not going to be 4 sine x cos x. Nawazi, do you mean that for question C? Nawazi? Is that what you were referring to? Right, so I'm just going to rub this out so I've got a bit more space to write. And okay, not for question C. Okay, so Nolwazi and everybody else, what we would end up doing here is we would take cos 15 plus sine 15, and we're going to multiply it by itself. So cos 15 plus sine 15. Okay, because that's what it means when we square something. We're multiplying it by itself. Now we're going to do FOIL. So our first term is going to be cos squared 15. Our middle term is going to be sine 15 cos 15. Then when we do the I from FOIL, we're going to have another sine 15, cos 15. Let me just see if I can move over. Just see if I can move over a little bit more. There we go. No, okay. Sorry, I'm going to have to squash this in here a little bit. It won't let me move over any more than this. Plus, and then my last terms, that would be sine squared 15, like so. Okay, now I've got two middle terms that are like terms. So I'm going to end up with cos squared 15 plus sine 15 cos 15 plus sine 15 cos 15 would be 2 sine 15 cos 15 plus my sine squared 15 from above. Now, grade 11, cos squared 15 that I'm highlighting in pink plus sine squared 15 is equal to what, matrix? What is cos squared 15 plus sine squared 15 equal to? This is grade 11. It's equal to 1. Yes, lovely, everybody. It's equal to 1. So now we've got 1 plus 2 sine 15 cos 15. Well, we know what 2 sine 15 cos 15 is equal to because we've seen that in question A. All right, so we know that it's equal to the sine of 30. Okay, and we know that the sine of 30 is equal to a half. And if we add 1 and a half together, we would end up with 1 1/2 or 3/2. Okay, does that make sense? Are there any questions? Excuse me. Any questions, Matric? Yes, Palesa, go for it.
Ma'am, aren't we gonna make the information in the second bracket a negative? Like the cos 15 plus sine 15. Is it not cos 15 minus
No,
sine
so
15?
what you're getting confused with, what you're muddling this up with is this over here. All right, when you factorize this, then you would have plus minus. But if you've got something that's a plus that's inside the bracket, you're essentially multiplying the first bracket or the bracket by itself. So if you were to factorize this that I've highlighted in blue over here, let me just go over here. So if you've got cos squared A minus sine squared A, that's difference of two squares. That's where you'd end up with cos A plus sine A times, sorry, this other bracket, I'm just going to write it over here, cos A minus sine A. That would be difference of two squares when you're factorizing cos squared A minus sine squared A. But here they're asking us to square a binomial. Okay, so this is different. We're not factorizing, we're squaring a binomial. So we're multiplying the bracket by itself. So both of them will have a plus inside. Okay. All right, no problem, Palesa. Any other questions before we move on? Don't forget to take screenshots, everybody.
Cynthia has
yes.
a question.
Sure. Cynthia, what's your question?
Ma'am, I was going to ask, how would you know to spot something like this? Because cos squared 15 and sine squared 15 are not actually like terms. So if you were in an exam, how would it be more easier to like spot if this would be?
You mean what it is that you're supposed to do with this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the clue comes in with the square on the brackets. So they expect you to realize that if you've got something like x plus y squared, that they want you to multiply the bracket by itself. That's what the square means. Okay, and then once you've done that and you've followed the process of FOIL, they would then expect you to know to collect the like terms, to use your square identity, to then use double angles and then special angles and then solve the answer. There's a lot going on in this question. All right. So yeah, it comes from algebra. That's how they would expect you to know that. All right. So this is something that your teacher, theoretically, your teacher should do in class with you as well. Okay. But that's the whole thing to all of these sorts of questions. If they're asking you to calculate something without using a calculator, then generally it comes down to special angles. So you've got to expect that the questions in matric now are going to involve double angles and compound angles. You've got to be on the lookout for them. And then your special angles as well. Okay, so you would be aware of all of that before you went into the exam. Okay, Zentle? Of
Yes,
course,
thank you.
the more you practice and the more you expose yourself to these questions, the more you'll see how you will be able to recognize what different things are asking you. Okay,
Definitely. Practice
yeah,
makes it
you just
perfect.
got to keep practicing. Okay. All right. So without any further ado, here is some practice for you guys. Okay, so Sinclair, look there at question H. All right, I'm giving you an opportunity to practice what it is that we were just speaking about now. Fine, the sign is different, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so guys, I would like you to try 3 of the following questions. Okay, if you want to do B, D, and F, that's fine. If you want to do D, F, H, that's fine. Obviously, the ones closer to the top are a little bit easier, and the ones further down are a little bit more difficult. Let me go and grab our double angle formulae, and I'll put that over here for you to help you. And then we're going to go through the answers. Okay, so you've got to look at your double angle formulae, try and decide what that's like. And then once you have either reduced or factorized or expanded or whatever needs to be done algebraically, you would then go and sub in your special angles. Okay, give that a try. And if you're stuck, then call on Yolanda and I. All right, good luck. Try and do 3.
I see you, Ndoyi. Let's go. You're doing it. I see the focus in your face. That's a good thing. Direko, are you giving it a try? I can see you, girl. Yes, keep trying. I can see you. Let's do this, guys. Shali is nice. You see, she already put all of these things there for us to actually follow. So we have the summary of the double angle formulas. So you just have to like follow the rules and then you'll get it right. That's all that you gotta do. Who's there that I can pick on? Let's give it a try, guys. Okay.
Okay, so when you've completed 3 of them, you can let us know by just putting done or finished or something like that into the chat.
Oh, Santa, that was fast. The Santa is done. Okay, and
Okay.
Omoho also.
Yes.
Nice, guys.
Omogo's done 4. Good job.
Wow.
Very nice. The more you practice, the better this is going to be. Matlatse. Did I say that correctly, Yolanda? Matlatse. And Sandisi, we're good. Well done, guys. Good, Luam. Nice, Lasidi. Well done, Nolwazi. Lisa, good job. Mbalenhle. Piwe. Nice. Ntori. Mikhail, okay. Kotham, Lesoho. Anati, Sibongentle, Tanda. Very nice. Okay. All right. Does anybody want to offer to try and do the first one? Anybody want to do B? Anyone want to do B for us? Cool. Faheen, go for it.
Okay. For B, I said we must write sine
So,
to
I'm
sine.
just writing the.
75.
Yes, there we go. So
Mhm.
you said what, Faheen?
I said sine,
Mm-hmm.
square bracket,
Mm-hmm.
2,
Mm-hmm.
parenthesis open,
Mm-hmm.
75,
Yes.
close bracket,
Yes.
square bracket,
Lovely.
equals to sine,
Mm-hmm.
150.
Very nice. Well done. Very good. And what did you do anything after that?
I did letter D as well. No, I didn't solve it further afterwards.
Okay, that's okay. What you've done here is perfect. What we would
Yay.
still need. So well done. That was really good. One thing that we would still need to do, okay, just to finish it off completely, all right, is because they wanted us to find the value of them. So that means that we need to have a number, okay? We need to have a value for sine 50. They want us to tell them what the ratio is. So because it's 150, you're going to have to use a reduction formula. What reduction formula are you going to use? Do you know, Faheen? Which quadrant are you working in?
First quadrant, I think, no.
So
First
second,
quadrant.
you'd be in the second quadrant. You'd be in quadrant number 2, because remember, here's 90 and here's 180. So 150 is somewhere in between these two. So you'll be in the second quadrant. So you're going to use 180 minus, and in this case, it would be 180 minus 30. So this would reduce to positive sine 30. Okay, and then that would be equal to 1/2, just like that. Okay, well done. Very nice. Good job. Okay,
You're
who
doing
wants?
really well.
They are. Who wants to do D? Let's see who's got a hand up.
Sharon's hand is
Sharon. Sharon, go for it. You're going to do D for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Go
Ma'am,
for it.
okay, I wrote the thingy down and then I said 2 multiplied by 2.
Sorry, I'm just writing the question down. Okay, 2 multiplied by 2.
Sine
Okay.
105,
Mm-hmm.
cos 105.
Okay.
And then I said 2 sine 105, cos 105.
Okay. But now where did this other times by 2 go to? So this one that I'm highlighting in pink, where did it go?
Oh no.
It's
But you are
okay.
there. You are right there. If you
You
look at
are
the, you're too
you
close. Sorry.
no, it's okay. So Sharon, that
Oh, okay.
don't stress. That was a very good attempt. What I would have done with this question, let's just see if anybody else, instead of me telling you, let's see if anybody else, did anybody do something slightly different to Sharon? Or did anybody do what Sharon has done and then take it a little bit further? Nhloso?
Doesn't feel so good there.
Okay, Nhloso Kuhle, what did you write? You're welcome to unmute and speak, Nhloso Kuhle. Okay, I don't know why Nhloso Kuhle is not talking. Nadia, do you want to go for it, Nadia?
You need to unmute.
I said the 2 times 2 sine 105 cos 105.
Okay,
And then I said 2 sine 210.
2 sine 210.
Yes,
So like that.
yes. And then
Okay.
I said sine 430, 420, 420.
Okay, did you add 360 degrees?
Yes. No,
Okay.
I made it enough because it's sine 2 sine 210. So then I made it sine 420, and then I reduced it to sine 60.
Okay. All right. So what I think that's what I would do in the situation over here as well. But if you've got sine 210, then which quadrant would you be in? So where would
Quadrant
210 be? Would be
quadrant 3.
it would be quadrant 3, absolutely. So now when this is reducing, is it going to reduce to something that's positive or something that's negative?
Something negative.
Something negative. So let's put the negative on the outside. So negative 2 sine, and then we could get 210 by saying 180 plus. So what would we need to add to 180 to get 210?
30.
Lovely, well done. So this is going to reduce to negative 2 sine 30. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. And then where would we go from here? Do you know?
It would be negative sine 60.
Okay, so sine of 30 is a special angle. So you could then
Yes.
go and substitute in your special angles. The sine of 30 is 1
Uh-huh.
over 2. That's it. Well done. Okay, so negative 2 times a half would leave us with a final answer of?
Negative 1.
Beautiful. Well done. Very nice. Excellent, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Very, very nice. Well done. Let's just see what other people are saying in here. Yes, Nalwazi. Yes. No, there's definitely more than one way that we could have done that particular question. All right. So the other two didn't disappear. Somebody asked that. Okay. It stayed there. Remember this over here is our double angle. Okay, so what Nadia did is she, after splitting the 4 into 2 times 2, she decided to write 2 sine 105 cos 105 as a double angle. Okay, and then the 2 that we see here that's highlighted in pink, that's actually come down here. And 2 sine 105 cos 105 became sine 210 because 210 is double 105. Okay, I hope that's clear to everybody. All right, anybody try question F and would like to have a go? Let's have a look and see who's got hands up. Sarah, go for it, Sarah. Sarah, you're welcome to unmute and speak. So Travis, Tata also did what Nadia did. That's perfect. Travis, you in the way that Nadia's done it over here, I wouldn't shorten it anymore. I wouldn't leave anything out, because you've got to show your special angles. You've got to show that you've subbed in. So no, I wouldn't leave any of that out, to be honest with you. Okay, Amanda, you've got a question. Go for it. What's
So,
your
ma'am,
question,
I
Amanda?
have a question for
Mm.
B, the third step. How did you get sine 30?
Okay, so that's reduction formulae from grade 11.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in other words, you would have said 180 minus 30. That's what 150 is equal to. So that's why it would be second quadrant. So it would reduce to positive sine 30. Okay,
Thank you so much.
no problem. Okay, so I think it's Sarah, can you unmute? You're welcome to speak, Sarah.
Okay, I said cos 2 into 15.
Nice. Keep going, Sarah.
Equals to cos 30.
Yes.
Then equals to square root of 3 over 2.
Fabulous. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well done. 100%. Good job. Very nice. Okay, lovely. Let's see who else has got a hand up. Okay, Omoholo, do you want to do H? Did you do H, Omoholo?
Yes, ma'am, I did it. Ma'am, I wanted to ask first before
Sure.
I answer. At B, if you
Yes.
wrote 2 into negative sine 30, is it wrong?
For B.
D.
For D. If you
Yes.
wrote, so just say that again.
2,
If you wrote 2
2
into
negative sine 30.
You see, it depends on how you wrote it. If you wrote 2 into negative sine 30, if you write it like that and you've got brackets, then it's okay. But without the brackets, it wouldn't be correct. But if you wrote it like that, that's okay. That's also
I
fine.
did it with brackets, yes.
You do with brackets, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah, not a problem. Okay. All right. Omoholo, do you want to do H for us?
yes, I'll do it.
Awesome. Cool. Tell me what I should write.
Open bracket cos 15 minus sine 15 into another cos 15 minus sine 15. And
Okay,
then
very nice.
cos squared 15
Keep going.
minus cos 15 sine 15
Keep going.
minus cos 15 sine 15
Keep going.
plus sine squared 15
Very nice. Lovely. Now what did you do?
cos squared 15 minus 2 cos 15 sine 15
Okay.
plus sine 15 cos plus sine squared 15.
There you go. Lovely. Good job. Well done. And now what did you do?
And then I group cos squared 15 plus sine squared 15 minus. Well, can I skip that step?
You can
I
actually,
said one
you can skip that step if you want to. There you can make it shorter. And you wrote?
1 minus sine open bracket into 2
Yes.
and then into 15 again.
Okay, so then did you end up with this?
Remember, skip that part. Nah,
Okay, all right.
I wrote
So,
1.
okay.
I wrote 1 minus sine open bracket 2 open bracket 15 close bracket.
Oh, I see what you've done there. Okay, all right. So I'm not going to skip this step just because I want people to understand what it is that we're doing, but you're absolutely correct. So 1 minus and then sine into 2 times 15 like so. Lovely. Perfect. Let's keep going.
1 minus sine 30.
That's it. Lovely. Omogolo, you're almost there.
1 minus a half.
Lovely. And your final answer was?
Half.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Omogolo. Well done. Very nice. Okay, fabulous. Are there any other questions? Okay, so I know someone was saying that they were confused about F. Okay, so F is probably the easiest one out of all of them because you didn't have to do any manipulating. So if you have a look, is it Naledi? Hang on a second, let me just go back and have a look here. Yes, Naledi. If you have a look, all right, they've given you cos squared A minus sine squared A as your extension, sorry, as your expansion for cos 2A. So that's exactly what this is, cos squared 15 minus sine squared 15. All right, so we've done the reversal of the expansion. They gave us this. We did the reversal of the expansion. We wrote it as a double angle of 15, which is the cos of 30, and then the cos of 30 is a special angle. Okay. Tatu, good question. How would marks be okay, so Tato, I think that there would be an accuracy on this line over here for expanding your brackets correctly. Then there would be a mark for getting to negative sine 30, probably a mark for subbing in the minus half, and then a mark on your answer. Okay, those are the sorts of things that they are looking for. All right. Any other questions, anybody? So again, with these questions over here, there would be a mark for that, and then a mark for that. That would be out of less than H. I see there are a couple of hands up. Teddy, sorry, Imbalentle, your hand was up first. Imbalentle, do you want to ask a question? And Teddy,
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
go for it.
Ma'am, on the second step on H, instead, okay, I wrote cos square 15, then minus sine 15 cos 15. Is it wrong?
No, not at all. Not at all. Okay, so cos 15 sine 15 is exactly the same as sine 15 cos 15 because the order in which you multiply doesn't matter. Okay, so you can see, yeah, so you can see here, Omogolo just had cos 15 first, but it really doesn't matter. And then what I did is in this step over here, I then ended up switching them around and putting sine 15 first so that it looked identical to our identity. But no, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. All right, Teddy, your question, please.
By step 1, 2, 3, 4. No? Where did the 2? What did you do with the 2 though?
Oh, you mean where the purple circle is?
Yeah, in the following step, 1 minus sine 2 times
All right.
15.
So 2 sine 15 cos 15 is your double angle. Okay, so the two, I know we always think that they're like, where's the 2 gone, or where does the cos come from, or whatever it is, but it's because I applied my double angle identity. So I wrote 2 sine 15 cos 15 as sine 2 times 15. Okay. All right, no problem. Okie dokes. Are we ready to go and look at something else? All right, let's have a look at this. Okay. I don't know if we'll manage to do example number 2 today, but we certainly, sorry, please can we mute? Thank you so much.
I still have muted everyone, but I can still hear someone speaking for some reason. And I don't understand why is it that. Who is it that I can't mute?
Yeah, no.
The system doesn't allow me to mute them, and I don't know who they are. Please mute whoever you are, because I cannot see you here. Thank you. Uh-oh, they are back again. Shelly, can you see them? And I'm muting everyone, and I can't see them. Thank you, guys. Please make sure that you keep muted. Okay, Teacher Lee, we are back. Sorry. You can unmute. Teacher Lee, you can unmute because I muted everyone.
There
Sorry.
we go.
I just couldn't find who was talking.
Oh, I've just had something pop up on my screen. It says remove all spotlighted videos. What does that mean? Why is Zoom asking me that?
I'm not sure why are they asking you that, but on my side, you are spotted and also we are recording. On my side,
Okay.
everything is still fine.
Okay. All right. Let's jump into question number 1. So again, here, when they ask us to evaluate matrics, they really are asking us to calculate the value of something, just like we did in the previous questions. And again, we're not allowed to use any calculators in order to be able to get to our answer. So we might be able to see what the answer is by the calculator, but we have to show all the steps and how we got to that answer. All right, so let's have a look at number 1. Okay, first of all, I'm going to write down the question. So in the numerator, I've got sine 35 cos 35. And as I'm writing this down, I notice that both of those are acute angles. So there's not anything that I can do with them. I can't reduce them or manipulate them in any way. When I look at the denominator, I see I've got the tan of 225. Now, I know that the tan of 225 is 180 plus 45. That's how I would end up with the tan of 225. And because this is the third quadrant, tan would be positive. So that would give me the tan of 45. Okay, so I'm required to write that. I must write that it's equal to the tan of 45 degrees because I've got to show what I get when I reduce. Additionally, they have given me times by the cos of 200. Okay, so I can get 200 by saying 180 plus 20. Because this is the third quadrant, this is going to reduce to negative cos 20. So here it's going to be times negative cos 20, like so. Okay, so that is our grade 11 reduction formulae. Going one step further, I know, it's going to keep my sine 35 cos 35. I know from special angles that the tan of 45 is equal to 1. So if I multiply 1 by anything, it's not going to change. But all right, I'm going to write here 1 times negative cos 20. Now, oopsie, I've made a mistake. Sorry, I wrote 45 instead of 35. Yeah. Then I get here and now I'm like, oh gosh, well, what is the connection between the 20 and the 35? And that is not particularly obvious. Anybody got any suggestions? What's the connection between the 20 and the 35? Yeah, sorry, Mikhail, it was a mistake. I was writing the 45 from down below, up above. Okay, so it should be 35. Anyone know the connection between the 35 and the 20? Anyone got any ideas? What can I do? Okay, they're both less than 90, so I can't do any reduction there. They're both acute angles. Good point. So that means there is no reducing possible. There is no reducing possible. I can't use reduction formulae. What else do we know? What else do we know? This is the tough part. So there's no reduction formulae that we can use because they're both not necessarily Tlokomelo. Sine 35 does not necessarily equal cos 35. It's a special angle, Tato. The tan of 45 is equal to 1. Special angles. So it's root 2 over root 2, which is 1. The difference is 15, certainly is. But there's no rule that I can apply there. So yeah, this is the tough part. Okay, and this is something that we don't often think about, but that we need to be aware of. Okay, and it's actually the cos of 20 that we need to focus on. All right, I can rewrite the cos of 20 in a different way. How else can I write cos 20, Matrix? I can write the cos of 20 as the sine of another angle. What is the cos of 20 equal to? There we go, Teddy. Okay, it's equal to the sine of 70. Okay, so this is our co-functions. Okay, and they are also very, very important in matric. Often when we get stuck on something in trig, especially these sorts of questions, it's because we need to use a co-function. All right, so this goes back to the idea that in a right-angled triangle, if this angle is 20 and that angle is 70, and there's our 90-degree corner, if that side is A, that side is B, that side is C over there, if I'm talking about the cos of 20, then this angle over here is my focus angle. All right, it would be adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cos of 20 would be A over B. If I change and I use this as my reference angle, the sine of 70 would be opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so the cos of 20 and the sine of 70 are the same. Okay, they are the same. All right, so there you go, Amanda. That's how. Right, I've shown you here using the right angle triangle. Again, this is something that we revised back in the beginning when we did all our grade 11 trig. So sorry, Amanda, this is something that'll be just a little bit more difficult for you at this point. Okay, so I am going to write sine 35, cos 35, and I'm going to rewrite 1 times minus cos 20 as negative sine 70. Okay, because remember I've got my negative over here. Now 70 is a double angle. What is it double of? It's double of 35. So what I can do now is I can write sine 35 cos 35 in the numerator still. And at the bottom, I can expand minus sine 70 using my double angle formula. And I can write it as minus 2 sine 35 cos 35. Okay, now we've only got multiplication and division. So we are allowed to cancel down. I can cancel sine 35 with sine 35 because that equals 1. I can cancel cos 35 with cos 35 because that equals 1. So what I essentially have floating around in the numerator is this 1 that's left over. Okay, so my final answer in this case is going to be minus 1 over 2, just like that. Okay, are there any questions? Any questions, Matrix? Yes, Cynthia, go for it.
Ma'am, can you please explain the part about how cos 20 is equal to sine 70 again? I didn't understand.
Okay, so these are your co-functions that you learned when you were in grade 11. All right. So in other words, if it's the cos of something and the sine of something else, if those two angles add up to 90, then they're equal to each other. All right. So in other words, if you have got the cos of 1 degree, then that's going to be equal to the sine of 89. Or if you have the sine of 50 degrees, that's going to be equal to the cos of 40 degrees. Okay, so it comes from this triangle over here. All right, this right angle triangle. All right, so 20 and 70 add up to 90. And again, if I have a look over here, if I work with 20 as my reference angle, remember, the cos of any angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. So A is the adjacent side and B is the hypotenuse. Then if I look at my angle 70 and I write down the sine of 70, that's opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite 70 is A over B is my hypotenuse. So that's why they're equal to each other, because they're equal to the same thing. Okay, so these are your co-functions. All right. Any other questions regarding number 1? How are you guys feeling? Does this make sense? Are we smiling? Are we sad? How do we feel at this point? Okay, so most people have got smiles and thumbs ups and whatever. Okay, all right, nice. Okay. You will. I know it's okay. So Shihla Mariso, okay, your minus cos 20 changed into minus cos 70. Okay, so that's what I was explaining here on the right-hand side with the triangle. Okay, you see now, Naledi, this is exactly it. This is what you needed from grade 11 trig, quite right. Okay. All right, how did I get minus 1 over 2 as the final answer? Because things cancel down. So sine 35 at the top divided by sine 35 at the bottom is 1. Cos 35 at the top divided by cos 35 at the bottom is 1. So you've got 1 floating around at the top. So 1 times 1 is 1 over negative 2. Okay, so that's how I ended up with an answer of minus 1 over 2. Right, Matrix.
Okay, everyone did well. Teacher Lee, is it fine for me to launch the poll for them?
Absolutely. Launch the poll, not a problem.
Thank you.
And
Here
then
we go, everyone.
What you guys can do here as well is you can try these for homework. If you so wish.
Practice makes it perfect.
Okay, so these 4 questions over there, you can screenshot that. And then, yeah, please answer the poll and then you can go.
Yes, please. I think Sharon has the hand up.
Sure, Sharon. Sure, Sharon, go for it.
Before you leave, please scroll up a bit.
Sure. How far?
Thank you. Just right. Thank you.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Bye, Nolwazi. Please
Bye,
do the poll, guys.
Nolwazi.
Big lady, yes. Practice.
Yes, absolutely.
I have a question.
Sure, Amanda.
So before we write like our June exams, will we practice like exam questions?
Yes, we've got a whole lot of exam practice. Boot camp is coming. Okay. And Saturday morning lessons are coming. Okay. So hang on to your seats. Okay.
Yes. I'm so happy.
Okay. No, we're going to do lots and lots and lots of exam practice. Okay.
ma'am.
All right. All right. Bye, everybody.
Mhm.
I'm afraid I need to
Ma'am,
dash. Yes. Someone calling
quickly,
me.
sorry.
Yes,
Can you,
Teddy.
ma'am, please scroll down by the questions, please?
Yes, sure. No problem. There you go.
What's going on here? I
Oh,
want to
I'm
grab
glad,
this screen
Onako.
and I can't.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
It's a pleasure.
Can you
All right.
wait,
Yes.
ma'am? I need to take a picture.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am,
So don't
about
worry.
the one you did, number
Mm.
2 or is it B? Do we have to write it as well or we should not?
You mean this question over here?
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to do that with you. If you want to try and do that question, you're very welcome to. But yeah, I just wanted you to do these questions over here for homework, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, it's a pleasure.